So we need the get bool. So we'll do it right here. It'll be var export sprites, var export emissives, var export normals. So we should have render sprites, render normals, render emissives. So we're going to put that in there. Export sprites, export emissives. Is it actually export emissives next? It's normals then emissives. Kind of a quiet stream today. That's fine. We're just hanging out. So let's see. We want to respect these things. So I'm gonna do that. We're going to want to pass down these render sprites, render normals, render emissives to this prepare export folder. Alright, so we want to remove if render sprites, we want to do this. If render normals, and again for this one, if render emissives. Alright, so if render sprites, it's interesting that it also highlights the comma. Alright, so now it'll actually respect all that sorts of stuff. Cool, let's make sure it actually does what we expect it to do. So let's uncheck all of it, let's export, and it should do a whole bunch of absolutely nothing, which is exactly what it did. And let's see if we can actually clear that message log. Like, If we do like something around here, so like for var key in message log, let's message log.trace found key in message log plus message log subkey. Let's see if there's like a message log.clear or something else that we can use, because I don't like that we don't have anything like that. So we've got delete later, trace, destroyed, object name. We have no clear. Let's see if there's anything in the documentation that points to clear. Create a list of palettes, the frame where you want to clear file types, clear all the widgets, clear current matrix, clear command history, clear the selection, clear. This is in help functions. Yeah, there's no clear or anything like that, so it's not something we can do. Alright, well, fine. Well, I'm going to take a very quick break and I'll be back, and we'll continue work. We're going to improve the UI for selecting which animation we want. So I will be right back. back. So we want to figure out a good way for us to show off what is our issue. Our issue is selecting the animations to export is a pain in the ass, and you gotta like hunt for it. That's not okay. We need to improve that. So what we like to do, we want a button to select current animation, which takes the current display and exports that animation. We want it to remember our selection from last time. We want to be able to select multiple animations. So I'd like to have like a checkbox for all anims, and I would like to have a checkbox for each animation. So we need a couple things going on here. So let's see. We know how to add a checkbox, and let's see, can we add like a Qt multi checkbox? Qt checkbox elements, checkbox tree. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't actually have anything like that. Since we're not able to actually mess with the core code. The other thing we could do is we could look at so we've got this Q combo box. And that's our actual like thing. So let's see, where is our export button itself? It's this widget. This item right here. So we want a button that will select current animation. Name should be button set display to current anim. So let's see if that. Yeah, we've got this thing that can be clicked. So the question is, can we actually dynamically add checkboxes to this thing? You know, like, can we actually do any of this stuff? And yeah, I'm exporting just all the animations just because I can. See if it works. I mean, it might be easy enough to just like set to current or something like that. Because it's really we're either exporting a single animation or we're exporting all the animations. It's kind of either or. So is there anything here? Like we have this Q combo box. Is there something that kind of works like a combo box? I mean, we need a dynamic list of... We want to basically be able to dynamically add things to the UI. So we've got this like UI GB sprite sheet sort of stuff. So maybe there's like create widget in JavaScript Qt. Maybe there's something like that. Yeah. Like this stuff just doesn't really work. Like we can't edit the C++. Well, let's experiment. Let's go spelunking a little bit. So can we do Q? Can we call Qt stuff directly? See if I can do some horrible crap like this. I highly doubt I can call any Qt functions from JavaScript. Alright, so yeah, we cannot just make a queue checkbox. Yeah, I don't think we can actually do anything here. Well, let's see if we can actually like for var key in this.ui. Let's see if we can. Let's see what we can do with that. So what do we find? Like minimum size, window content. I mean, it's just a dialogue, so. Let's see if we can call Qt maybe. Is like Qt something that exists in the page, in the frame? I'm not seeing anything. Not at all. So. Well, we can actually, yeah, I guess we'll just have to. I guess we'll just have to skip out on the checkbox things. That's looks like it's not going to happen because we can't dynamically create new boxes for stuff based on like all the displays in the scene, which is just annoying. Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of hacks and workarounds to get this to work, and almost all of it requires you to actually have your C++ application allow you to do things. And of course, we're not recompiling Harmony, so we're kind of screwed on that one. So let's try to remember our last display. All right. Trying to set the display to sdig, didn't find it in the list. Sdig is definitely in the list. Trying to set the display to sdig, didn't find it in the list. It's right there. Alright, now we've got it remembering. So let's make that set to current button actually work properly. So let's look at the button that we had here for this select directory button. Alright, so we want the button for this, it's going to be inside of GB options, GB options, button set display to current anim.click.connect with this set to current display. So we're going to get our current display, which is Where is our current display? We took it out? Well, let's see what we had in Perforce real quick. Should be down. There it is. So the current display is this scene display, and what we're going to want to do is what we could do is set the preferences.set string, and we could set this to scene display. This would be like if scene display dot index of underscore equals 1, then our animation is going to be scene display dot substring this like ganim display tag. We'll fix that bug before we go any farther. We'll set this to our animation. That should do that. And then we will just call our update display list. Hello, issue. It's going pretty good. Right now I'm going through and I'm trying to improve the workflow for Harmony. Basically, like right now, it's kind of a pain in the ass to select what you want and all that, so current display is unconnected display. Alright, so we're going to do else if scene display equals, what was it, unconnected display? Yeah, that's what it's spelled like. If scene display is unconnected display, then what we're going to do is we're going to set the display name to this and update the display list. So we should be able to go to like our whatever implementation, click this button, set to current, and current display is top/a_sm. Alright, so we need to take the top off this thing. Well, for at least the next couple minutes, we're not doing so much crazy stuff. We should be finished very shortly with our JavaScript stuff. So when I hit set current, It's trying to set the display to blah. Didn't find it in the list. Scene display was a underscore simp1, trying to set display to. Alright, let's see if this does it. So set to current simp1. Alright, good. So Adam won't have to like hunt around to all this sort of stuff. If he wants to pick something, he can just do it. And if he wants all anims, just go to display all and just like set the current. It'll grab everything. The exports are all there. So cool. That's much better than what we had before. Yeah, some of the stuff that we fixed up is you don't have to be on the display to export the display. So like if you're working on something and what you had to do if you needed to export is, like, let's say you were working on like the dig animation or something, and if you wanted to export everything, you actually had to like go to display all, export, and then if you wanted to keep messing with the dig, you'd have to go back to it and stuff like that. But this is different where you can just grab what you want and export it at any time, and it'll go do that. We also added support for exporting normal maps and emissive maps. So for instance, the dig animation has these normals here. So they go off in the dig animation normals folder. And I also added some emissives for the for the dig animation. As you can see, his eye is an emissive layer, so his eye would be glowing green or whatever. And those are all working on the same rigging layer, so this emissive map, while it's just the eyes, could be put onto the right spot there, and it uses a different texture and all that. So we've got some good stuff going on with that. So let's clean up. I had some message log. And we also fixed up a whole lot of awful things, like now when something goes wrong inside of the script, it doesn't just hang with this dialogue not doing anything. Like if there's an actual error in the script, like I'll put something like undefined dot something equals hello crash, and I try to execute that. I'm like, all right, yeah, export. It's going to be like, result of expression is not object line 1286. Beforehand, it would just hang there and do absolutely nothing until you hit the X. And then Adam would be sitting there like, is it working? And then just like, and then give up. And that's never a good thing to have people do. yeah, it's like that sucks. So a lot of little fixes like that is what we've been working on. And I'm trying to take out a bunch of garbage in the logs as well. That doesn't need to be there. Alright, so we've got all of this working. And we also got it so it remembers which animation was last exported. So like if I'm on dig and I go over to Air 1 and I go to export, it's going to have dig still in there. And then, you know, just set to current and all that so you don't have to hunt around and do a bunch of bullshit. The other thing that we added was the support for camera pegs. So the camera pegs in Harmony can be used to zoom and translate and move and do all sorts of stuff with the camera, and beforehand those weren't available, so he was having trouble, you know, like resizing and doing stuff. Now those are supported, so he could just export, you know, all the animations nicely. So I'm going to take a look here. It looks like there were a few other normal maps that actually already existed here. So I'm going to take a quick look at them, and yeah, we've got this one right here. This one needs to be in_idle. Yeah, and right here, this is going to be in_idle or in_air2. And are there any other normals? Yeah, here we go. And that's all the crazy stuff we're doing at the beginning here. It's just a lot of editor improvements. And what we're trying to do right now with our current milestone with Dashkin, the game, is we're trying to get to kind of our first playable and kind of quote-unquote production mode. And basically what that means is we can actually make the game. Pre-production, which is what we're in right now, we're just trying to get to production. So that means you make your tools, you make all your other stuff in order to make the game. And when you're in production, you're not, hopefully not making a whole bunch of tools, you're hopefully just... I would like a set to all button as well. So let's go ahead and make a little set to all button. And once we get to production, you can actually make the game, and that should just be what you're doing. So right now we can't make the game, and we're getting to where we can. It's, well, it's that simple, I guess. Alright, so this dot is function, and let's just say we're setting this to unconnected display and then updating the display list. So let's just make sure that this works. So we got a set to all button, and boom, we're now like, that's gonna be really easy. You're like set to everything and you hit export, and then you just, and then it just does its thing. So let's make sure we actually got all these normals hooked up. We'll go through all the animations. And the reason why I can't delete that is because we have the folder open. Let's actually just delete everything in here so we know exactly what got exported, because I'm looking for if any of the exports have the N on the end of them. Gotta render all those frames. Alright, so it looks like there's no ends on the end of these things. So let's take a look at our normals. So we can tell if there's going to be normals. Basically, if there's a JSON file there, it's going to tell us. So this one only has sprites. This one only has, well, it has both, so let's just double check. Yeah, it looks like we got our normals. SDig has got all three. SIdle, we got normals. That's a lot of normals. And those are all looking correct. Alright. So, what we need to do now is we need to make it so that the editor can actually import all this stuff. And let me just check my list real quick of other things. Alright, so figure out if we can switch to the display in Harmony, add checkboxes for exporting, improve error handling and UI flow. So there's another flow that we need, which is we need to basically be able to get those hand-painted normals from Photoshop. So let's see, are we actually deleting everything inside of this folder? No, we're not going to remove anything from this folder unless it specifically asks us. And we're removing this like slash normals and just slash sprite sheets. We're not actually removing any of the... Let's just double check that. So like if I copy paste this and just do like should be deleted or it should not be deleted .json right there, and this is widle. So our JSON file did not get deleted, so that's fine. Let's think for a second. Hello, Adam. We're working on improving your life. And we've done quite a few things to actually do that. Yeah, it's a lot better now. Basically, we've got a few things here, like there are a few more buttons. There's export sprites, emissives, and normals. Those are checkboxes that will be remembered. So you can uncheck or check those. With the animations here, it's now going to remember which animation you last exported, and you can there's a set to current and set to all for this. You no longer have to be on the animation that you want to export. So if you have some other workflow that's going on, and you're like hooking these displays into some other bullshit, like that's fine. Don't worry about it. It'll work anyway. The transforms for the cameras are supported, so that'll work just fine. And so yeah, that I couldn't make this drop down better. I tried to like see if I could turn it into checkboxes or something, but didn't work. So that's what we got. And we also, the error handling is a lot better. So you know how if there used to be an issue with the script, you would just like run it and then you'd be like, is it broken or not? It'll now close this dialog if there's an error and actually complain with the proper error handling. So no more like, is it broken or thinking? It's either broken and it's going to say I'm broken, or it's going to be thinking. So lots of things like that is what we're working on. All right, so I'm gonna have to. I kind of want to put like this JSON file into the actual emissives and normal files, because what I want is like this whole directory to get cleaned up, and I don't want these files to be crapping up here. I don't want stuff that's not in these 3 folders to be deleted, but I want all 3 of these folders to be deleted. And if we have hand-painted normals, I want them to be like here, and I don't want the export process to touch those from Harmony. Yeah, well, that's what Ishu was saying. You know, poor Adam, not having any of the tools. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, but he's the one making the art. It's not really poor Adam. It's poor us, because we're not going to get any sweet art out of it. So I need to see where we're actually saving this JSON file. This JSON file name is going to be name, export name, resolution names.json. Which is not true. That's not really what we want. We want the sheet type, I guess. It's /name, and then we want this like plus here, sheet type. So let's see about that. So this is our folder, and let's try importing. Yeah, the other thing is, you know, we got the emissive support in there as well. So like for instance, this is, yeah, we got this working properly. So this is like the emissive layer. Actually, that's not what I wanted to open. Like I made his eyes the emissive layer inside of this emissive display over here, like ESDig. So, you know, like, and the sprite sheet's only exporting just the little tiny layer or whatever, so you can do whatever the hell you want in Harmony. And I'm going to try to get that all importing here. The idea with the export directory right now is Then we go to the import for the characters. This is the folder that's going to be generated, so if you touch anything inside of these 3 folders for like an animation, it'll get blown away with your next export or whatever. If you export emissives, it'll blow away the emissives. If you export normals, it'll blow away the normals. So if you've got your hand-painted normals right over here, it'll actually use those, is the idea. That if it exists, it'll use the hand normals. And I'll be upgrading Photoshop later to use that, but I need to get the other the normal export working here. And you're probably going to have to repaint all the fat sack stuff since I changed the camera and all that crap. So there's that, because I don't remember how exactly big he was, but and all that. Yeah, I figured something like that, probably. Also, I figured you'd probably get really good at the repainting stuff for touching up the characters. Just like